Welcome to another episode of your show, Personality Guest of the Week, on our YouTube channel, Personalities and Event TV. My name is Eniola Adesuga. Today, I have another personality on the show, a man I respect so much, a man of impeccable character, a man of sterling qualities. He is a pilot, legal practitioner, and a politician par excellence. He was a distinguished senator in the 8th and 9th Assembly, representing the good people of Kebbi South. He is a member body of benchers. Please do join me as I welcome on the show today in no other person than distinguished Senator Bala IBN Nahala. Sir, you are welcome on the show. I know I've not really done justice to your personality. Who is Senator Bala Nahala?
Well, I think the best thing is to adopt what you have said so far and to hope that with the level of encomiums that you have used to introduce me, I will not fail in my duty to at least reflect half of that in whatever the subject of the discourse will be. But I think that is precisely who Bala Nahala is. I usually say I'm Bala Nahala, senator, former member, House of Reps. We don't say former senator because once a senator, it's always a senator. And of course, people know me again to be a pilot. My humble beginning is that I was born into the family of late Alhaji Nahala and the late Haja Aisha Sakaba, who happened to come from different royal families. My mom happened to come from the royal family of Sakaba, which is now a chiefdom in Kebbi State. And my father happened to come from the royal home of Wasagu chiefdom, which is equally a chiefdom in the same Kebbi State. And my humble beginning is that I rose to understand the fact that it's a compulsion in our family that I must go to school. So I started my primary school in Tirindaji Primary School. Shortly after that, I was taken back to Wasagu, which is the original place where I came from. And then after some time, because of the exigencies of service, my brother, who I was staying with, now was moved to a place called Fakai. Fakai is the hometown of former General Magoro that you know. So I went there, and then luckily for me, I used to be a brilliant child, at that time. And in class 5, I was taken to go and write exams for going to college. And incidentally, I was lucky to gain admission into Federal Government College Odubolu, but I couldn't make it because I was so small. At the insistence of my mother, my late mother, may her soul rest in peace, I was asked to stay in Government Secondary School Zuru, and that was where I finished my secondary school. After that, I went to State College of Art and Science, Sokoto, where I did what is called IJMB. From there, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, and I left Ahmadu Bello University Zaria in 1985 to go to the then Nigerian Law School, which is the only law school at that time in Lagos at Ozuba Mbadwe. After that, I was asked to go for service at 32 Field Artillery Brigade in Obinze Barracks in Owerri. And it was from there that I was now taken back to serve as State Counsel. And later that year, I was nominated to become a magistrate in the then Sokoto State Judiciary, from where I rose to the level of an acting chief magistrate. After that, I had two invitations, one to go to Ministry of Defense and the other one to go to National Drug Law Enforcement Agency as a staff officer. I now proceeded to go to National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Lagos as staff officer, Access and General Investigation. Then after that, again, I now started practice with Ogugu Achioke and Co. as a co-partner before I now opened my own practice in Lagos as Bala Ibn Allah and Co. 2003, I was invited back to join politics. They tried it in 1999, they couldn't succeed. I don't know what magic they did. In 2023, I found myself going around with people campaigning to become member House of Reps. I did House of Reps, and then I was again re-elected to come back to the House of Representatives. Then I took a sabbatical leave, just to try to see how I can put things back together. But again, in 2015, I was drafted back to the Senate, which I served and became the deputy Senate leader of that Senate. And then I was called back again to serve in the 9th Senate as chairman, Senate Committee on Air Force. My constituency have refused to accept the fact that I'm not their senator up till now. So the usual thing is still going on politically. But the only difference is that I now know that I have no obligation. I do not have any statutory obligation between me and my constituency. So what I do is from time to time I go and sit down, we discuss issues, we see where we can be of help to one another, and then we continue along that line. But I think I have had a deserved rest that I seriously cherish in the last 1.5 years. They all had to do, one, with increasing the number of justices of the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court, you understand, their remuneration and the rest. So that time, the belief, which I continue to hold, is that it will help in giving us a very virile and strong judiciary that will guarantee the foundation of democracy and human rights in Nigeria. I did that. I came to the Senate, I tried my best to work on the police reform bill, which even went to the president for signing. But for whatever reason, it was not signed into law. It was brought back and we deliberated on it in the 9th Senate, and it was passed and signed into law. Reason being that at that time, because the president of the Senate was not in the good books of the executive, a lot of things could not go through, even though they were well-intentioned, and they would have helped the government tremendously in, steering the ship of governance. Effectively, it's following the law. Don't we have law on corruption? Don't we have the EFCC Act? Don't we have the ICPC Act? Then don't we have the Constitution itself? If you as a leader, you have sworn to uphold, protect and defend the Constitution, and the Constitution tells you that you cannot do certain actions, and you go ahead to do them so that they can confer benefit on you, then how can you get out of it? That's what I have summed up. I thought your thinking was along that line. See, our blatant refusal to adhere strictly, honestly, to the oath of office we have taken as leaders has been the major source of the dislocation that gave back to corruption, that gave back to inefficiency in governance, that gave back to most of the challenges that we are facing today as a country. The only thing missing in this cocoonery is the commitment of the citizens to equally follow the Constitution and call for accountability as and when it becomes reasonably necessary. every good politician will not sit down 2 years or more to the election period to begin to tell you what he wants to become. No. No serious-minded politician should tell you this. Maybe except those who are already occupying office, elected offices, who believe that they should begin to prepare maybe to come back to the same office. But as a politician, what is required of you is to belong to a political party whose manifestos you believe in has the capacity to transform the life of your people. Now, when it gets to election period, it is not you that should determine what you want to be. It is members of your political party who will sit down and look at you and say, well, you have done this to us, at this time you have done this to us, you have shown sufficient leadership qualities, and we believe that you should please come back and hold this place. This is what I believe should be reasonable. But for anybody to begin to canvass that he wants to be this or he wants to be that, he is only being incredibly selfish. And I do not want to believe that at my own level, with all the favors that God has done to me, I should reduce myself to that level. I would rather remain as an honest patriot who wish this country well and who in any capacity, given the chance, will advise those in authority on what I reasonably believe should be done to propel the country to greatness. I'm satisfied with that function rather than wanting to be this, wanting to be that, wanting to be. And that's why you find a lot of people occupying the office, they don't even know the function of the office they are occupying. That's where we have problem. And that's why our recruitment process is equally bad. But we keep on hoping that the more we get into trouble, the more you find thieves around you, the more you find kidnappers around you, the more you find different kind of vices around you, the more it is telling you that time has come for you to recruit those with capacity, with the level of patriotism, to sit down and put their thinking cap on how your country can be taken out of that. Even if not for you, for your future generation. One, I'm a member of the body of benchers. And if you know what body of benchers means, it consists of practitioners of the highest distinction. And it's not just given to anyone, anyhow. It's given to carefully selected individuals. And I will say based on merit. I'm satisfied with that function. I really want to put in my best in that assignment. Again, as a community leader, I have certain responsibilities in my community. I'm equally happily discharging those duties to the best of my ability. The role that individuals should play in shaping a better tomorrow for Nigeria is to come down from the pedestal of psychopathy, of saying provided it's me, everything can go wrong, and to begin to think of a system where you benefit from it whether you are inside or outside. Because all this struggle for getting into government or whatever is because people know that they can only be protected, they can only enjoy the comfort that they believe they have if they are in government. But if you make the system work where whether you are inside or outside, you will enjoy it. This is the best contribution you can make to your country as a citizen. And that is the only way you can build the future of this country. But as long as we continue to say, like I told you earlier, that oh, Mr. A is a thief, but is our own. Oh, Mr. B is a thief, but is our own. That is when you begin to hear that
if you want your sin to be forgiven.
Exactly, yeah. You join. And I don't think that is nice. And the worst thing, and that is what is paining me, is that these issues start and end on the table of the elites who have had the privilege of going to school. Some of them who have the privilege of going around the world and seeing what it is to have an ideal society. But they come back home and they believe that, no, I can steal. Once I steal, it is enough for me and my children, and therefore any other person can go to him. Then you go out, one small boy will shoot you down, or another one will kidnap you. So of what use is it? But when you enthrone justice and equality and work seriously, assiduously towards it, you understand, then the society begin to benefit from that wisdom, and therefore it begins to go towards rebirth. But as long as you continue to say, well, it's my turn, I have mobile police, I can take whatever decision I like without minding the consequences, I can deal with this, I can disseminate this, I can do that because I'm in power, only to discover that after 4 years you are nobody again, and the damage that you have put in the society has become so cancerous that it has become not recoverable. I hope we never get into that. I remember the saying in Shakespeare when someone went to the king to talk about the country, and then he was asked, how is it? He said, well, every day a new gash is added to an already existing wound. And you know what that means. It means the wound will never heal. So the elites of this country who propel the masses to divide them and rule along religious, along tribal, along ethnic, along all these things, should know that we are better off as a country. And that is what our leaders wanted, when they decided to take the decision at independence that Nigeria should be one country. So for us to betray that and begin to come to disseminate the country into political zones, into all this nonsense, and in the end we are paying the price, because the moment you are out of office, that's all. That's all. What can you do? And that's why you see, the acrimony, all this, it is not necessary. If you have built a system where whether you are in or out, you benefit from the system.
We are going to draw the curtain for this week's episode of the show, Personality Guest of the Week. To my guest for today, Senator Bala Nala. Sir, thanks for coming on the show. Till I come your way again, my name still remains Eniola Adesuba. Like I do say, stay out of trouble. Nigeria shall be great again.